Hello, friends. Welcome. Yes, indeed, we are painting a pig. Painting a pig on this beautiful Monday. Could almost call it a party Monday if you wanted. I would not be so bold. Yes, I started this guy yesterday on stream. Was as always is the case with a lovely Lucas penis sculpt. I was just enjoying it, so just kept painting. So we'll just be plopping about with this guy for the evening, for a little while. It's a cool little figure, cool little figure. Still no airbrush yet, but it'll come. It'll come. When we get to a much more finalised stage on everything, I'm going to try and just use the airbrush for less filtering of colours and more for smoothing out of colours and more for filtering colours. We'll see how that plan goes. I don't know if anyone's in the wonderful Kingdom Death Discord, but the new painting competition that I hosted last year. I didn't host it. I was one of the judges, and I ran the live stream of the judging that we did. I did not run the event itself. Yeah, it's commenced again for another year. And at this point in time, I think, I haven't spoken to the organiser recently, but at this point in time, I think I'm also judging it again, and will be live streaming the judging. So I don't know if you saw it last year or the year before, whenever I did it, but I felt Bucks joined me for a chunk of it. I felt that the experience was a very worthwhile one for people on the discords. We went through and sort of talked about all of our thoughts on each model, and tried to give each model a little bit of time and respect, which of course backfired on us immensely when we realised we had 100 and something entries. So the rules have changed a little to accommodate that this year, which is good. But yeah, we spent I think it was about 13 hours of judging that was done live. People commenting and discussing, which was really fun experience. And yeah, hoping we'll replicate that again this year, and have a lot of people watching along and chatting. Very good experience. And yeah, so the links for those, I'm sure I'll figure out how to post them at some point later on. was particularly hotly contested in the in the Masters category. It's the Kingdom Death Discord painting competition. The event last time was called Paint Me Like a Pinup. This time it's called something else that I can't remember. So let's talk about non-metallic metal on this guy. It was a ridiculous amount of judging to do. It took us 13 hours. We broke it up into 3 little segments, but it was still a long time. Let's talk non-metallic metal. So I've got a few little things that I'm sort of trying to express in this metal. The first is some environmental stuff happening, obviously, in the surrounds, which is it's some sort of brown mountain or desert or something. Don't know yet. That's still in the preliminary stages of creating that. And then obviously we've got the blue sky. And then we're also looking to create, at some point soon, some rust. Some sort of elements of this armour being quite battered. He's a little gobbo, after all. Can't afford to look after his gear. But he's still a brave little goblin. Brave, brave, brave little goblin. So I've just sketched in the brown for the moment. We'll need to add some shading and stuff to that. Probably needs more shadows than anything else, but we're just starting to plot out where everything goes. Yeah. So my airbrushing has a tendency to really reduce contrast. So I thought I would try very, very stark contrast between black and white, which I know Michael Jackson would be thrilled about. Yeah, so we're just we're really trying to over contrast between light and dark on these little metal areas, and then when we airbrush in some colours, it should hopefully, theoretically, all come together as a cohesive look. Same for the little piggy as well. So yeah, I guess just trying to continue to iterate and evolve a little bit. I mean, not a lot. That's my foot. Fully painted with broken toed brushes so far. Not broken toed, that's completely wrong. Artist Opus. I was thinking about broken toed brushes yesterday actually. I was thinking, I remember I got some of those and I was really a big fan of them, but then over time I lost faith in them. But this brush so far, excellent. So I had broken toed, I was mulling over them before. But this is definitely not broken toed brushes. This is Artist Opus, and it gets the Big Deno seal of approval. Didn't see if Bucks was around tonight. I'll just send him a little cheeky message. I'll just pop into voice and see if he pops up. We'll see if he pops up. If Buxo joins us, wonderful. If not, it's still wonderful. Okay. So this is our front on angle. Should we leave that for a bit and do some work on the face? Don't know. And skin. Shine on, mate. Shine over me. Screaming Jets. What a tune that was. Still didn't know what happened when you knocked upon my door. Yeah, we might do a little bit of face. So let's. We got any good greens from the old world of Chimera? No, we might actually go with very, very, very bright green. Olive green, light green, purulent yellow. Might go a little bit of that. Yeah, mate, get some shine happening there. Alright, I don't want to smash up my brush with this, so I'm going to use older brush for this little section. But let's Remember that I want to leave some black, actually. Okay, Simon. We want some red in his ears. The reason why not everyone could say, so you don't have to pretend to try hard. Say you never get anywhere. Oh, they don't care. It's just not fair, and you know that I know better. Say you never get anywhere. Oh, they don't care. It's just not fair. G'day, Yub. You know, and I know better. Just not fair, yeah, yeah. You'll never get anywhere. That's what they tell him. Yeah, we're getting some shine on. Getting some shine on. Ah, yes, the good times, the classic hits of Big Dano, 4KQ. It was a wonderful time in my life, actually, travelling overseas and playing little toy soldier games. Wonderful, wonderful times. I cherish those memories. I also would love to go back and do some different things in my life. Not so much those trips or anything like that, but just maybe some of the lessons I've learned in this life would probably change a few things. But look, I'm speaking like I hate it when people post fucking suggestive Facebook posts. Oh, gosh, life's so tough. I hate that. So there was a number of times where I travelled with friends and I had an amazing experience but I'm just not a very good social person. I don't interact well for extended periods of time in social interactions. I get very drained, I get very frustrated, and so I look back at a lot of those trips and I just remember me acting like a fucking dickhead some of those times, and mostly related to uh, me just not getting things my way is not the right way of describing it, but just, not knowing how to handle my own emotional challenges, which is, pretty much a story of my younger days. Still happens now, but I'm just a lot better at recognizing those things. I hate people fucking posting cryptic and suggestive stuff on fucking social media and not talking about it. green. Bit of Chimera, Royal Brown. One of my all-time favourite colours, I think. It's really starting to creep up there. Yeah, look, particularly for people, I'll throw out a sweeping generalisation, but it's probably not an inaccurate one given where you are right now, listening to me jibber jabber. Us nerds, we tend to have challenges when it comes to social interactions. I'm very charismatic. I'm very capable in handling myself in social situations. But I also have a limit when I hit my limit. And it's not even like a switch flicks either. I don't know. Alright, let's switch back to the good brush. Yep, it's very... Yeah, right. My, yeah, exactly. My wonderful girlfriend, Mossy, is we've had many discussions about what we call my autism. It's not diagnosed. I hope that's not disrespectful to people that do have autism. But yeah, my the way that my brain works is I'm usually overly honest, more so than is necessary, and yeah, I will also just reach a point where I'm like, I refuse to do any more social interactions. Thank you all, and good night. And I'll just sort of switch off, and I'll be in my own little world. There's her trying to get some attention from me, and I'm just like, yeah. So I guess the lesson for me overall, cut yourself some slack, you know. You learn this stuff as you grow up. G'day, Masso. As you become an adult, you pick up on, different things and lessons, and eventually, hopefully, you actually become a functional human being. It is an incredible sculpture, yeah. I wish I could say that I did it. I am not that gifted. probably fair to say I've not practiced that discipline enough to be able to do this. This is done by the incredible Lucas Pina. Oh, look, mate, I don't really do commissions these days. I usually just paint stuff that I want to paint, and then I pretty much sell it. So everything that I paint, I put up for sale on my socials, or have a couple of collectors who express interest. So say it on here if people like stuff and they're interested in buying it. Shoot me a message nice and early. They go quick. Am I happy? Yeah. Am I happy with this olive green, or do I want to go some other direction? Golden olive, I think, is what we want to do. Yes. I see you know your judo well. There's a wonderful Goblin Kickstarter coming out on... actually, I don't know when it's coming out, but it's for Paul Bonner Goblins. Who's doing that? Was it Black Sun? I can't remember who's doing it now. But, yeah, Kickstarters for miniatures. I like to keep my eye out. But I don't tip in my hat very often, but I do think that some goblins will be coming my way. Up there, Kazali. In there and out. This is a lot more desaturated than what I normally do. I was thinking about it today, wondering if I should lean into that, or if I'm going to add saturation at a later stage. Right now, very neutral. There it is. Yes, Black Sun. Yes, Neutron Smith Goblins. Yeah, Black Sun. Love those little models, little gobbos. Looks like Eric Swinson did some of that painting. Great man. Absolutely great man. Eric Swinson. Loves painting Kingdom Death too, I might add. Let's get some more zoom happening, Dano. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Ah, I love Lucas Penis sculpts. They honestly just paint themselves. I mean, this one hasn't painted itself. I've painted it, but you know what I mean. Let's go a slightly colder colour for that side. Get a bit of this out on the palette. May not use it at this point in time. Deep green. Yes. And then a bit of blue, I think. Blue-green. Let's see what we can do with those. So I don't want it to be overtly cold and warm. Like, I don't want it to be a very huge juxtaposition. But I do want there to be sort of a noticeable tonal shift from one side to the other. So we're going to incorporate that with the airbrush a little. I did have some wonderful trips overseas, just reflecting on some of those. The very first trip I went on that I filmed was the 2009 Warhammer European Team Championships. Australia sent over a team for the very first time, which was fun. They had to change the name to World Team Championships instead of European Team Championships. Great year. I went over as a scribe. Unfortunately, I was not quite capable of making the side. which I have spoken about on stream before. There's a little bit more to that story, but we won't rehash that for tonight. And the wonderful team that we had, I documented their trip. It was the very first time an Australian team had competed overseas at the Toy Soldiers, which was great. Did interviews with the players, filmed some of the games, talked with the captain and talked through some of the things. It was really, really fun. And I believe that is still up on my YouTube channel to this day. They're actually the very first videos that are on my channel. It wasn't the first YouTubing, blogging that I did. I actually did some videos before that for a little company that I was a part of in my younger days called War Puppy. I was doing some videos, which was called A Dog's Breakfast. Great stuff. And the blogging from that for myself sort of came from there, where I was doing my own stuff rather than for War Puppy, and so travelled over for that. I then did a series for my War Machine travels. Travelled over to Seattle for an event called Lock and Load. What year was that in, Deno? No, we did the European Team Championships. Actually, was what we, which got changed to the WTC, for War Machine. Come on, you can focus on my little face. All this white noise in the background. Yeah, the War Machine European Team Championship was in Salzburg for the very first time, or the very first year that I went, I should say. In Austria. Came fourth. Yeah. Then Seattle for Lock and Load. Whew. Some good times. So yeah, I've been making videos and talking about Toy Soldiers for a pretty long time. Part of my identity almost now. Well, not almost, it is. It's never been a lucrative thing where I've made bucket loads of cash and I could retire. But it's just been fun. Nice. It's given me cool opportunities. How did I get onto this? What was my painting like in the 2000s? Well, 2009. Back in those days, I was very much just a Warhammer army painter. So I would say I was slightly above tabletop uh, quality standard. Um, but even then, I was always just speed. I was just fast. Used to paint armies at a rate of knots, and I was actually commission painting back then. So I found some photos of my army painting actually a little while back. I'll have to see if I can track those down. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't very good, put it that way, but I was fast, which is probably exactly the same that could be said of me right now. uh, I know Mossy would certainly say the same. Yeah, the I can remember the time it happened. It was Meg Maples did a class up here in Brisbane, which I attended on figure painting, and at the time it was around the time when I switched to Guild Ball. Was when I started like trying to paint my stuff to a really nice standard. Um, who's ringing my phone? Oh, you can get absolutely fucked. What would young? Yep. So I think off the top of my head, Guild Ball was around 2015. So it would be around 2015 that I made that switch to display painting, and yeah, really got into it quite a lot. After Meg's class, it was a revelatory experience. Credit her with a lot of my evolution into this side of things. What would my advice to older Deno be? So to younger Deno from me right now. Look, it's a really good question, but I don't know that I'm going to have a really good answer, because for starters, younger Deno was just an absolute fuckwit. Like, he was a right pillock. Very, very, very arrogant. Very arrogant. He definitely wouldn't have listened to my advice, even if I gave it to him. Probably slow down. Slow down in just about every aspect of life. Don't need to rush decisions. You don't need to be the first person to do things. You don't need to, everything. Just slow down. Hey, Space Toy. Hope you're doing well, mate. It is indeed a spear up. Congratulations on your results recently, mate. It's doing some great stuff. Hey, Bun. Yeah, I miss you too. I'm excited to see you very soon. Only a few short weeks. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit of normality back in my life now, so that's a good thing. It is, mate. It is. It's part of the joy of the experience is failing, learning, growing. That's one thing I will say about young Deno. There's a mentality in business now, or a mindset in business, which is like fail fast, fail early, or something like that. I can't remember the specifics of it, but it's all about, learning from your mistakes quickly and being agile. And I feel like young Deno, did a bit of that. He did learn quickly because he failed so often. You are absolutely right, Bun. You are. Bob Ross, we don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. uh, I do have a lot of good business quotes. Guilds Inn is coming up in a few weeks, Space Toy. We're all down to Sydney. We did have the Arc Open in, was that April? I think it was April, which went really well. Buxo was the wonderful Best of Show winner, which was a delight for all of us closest to him, and everyone, I guess, because it was just wonderful to see him do well. G'day, Jared. I was fortunate enough to pick up a People's Choice Award for the girls, the diorama. And everyone else performed admirably well. All of our great stream and Discord compatriots had a wonderful time. Yes, that's the one. The girls. Actually had the judge from that wonderful weekend on right now, Jared Clifford. The unenviable job of trying to judge the girls. What a fun time. Yeah, I've found myself gravitating more towards those larger projects of recent years, just because it really does force you to think about things in a different way, a much bigger scale, um, which can actually be really beneficial. It's nice to just crank out a model like this one and paint it and have a wonderful time, of course. But yeah, painting is painting. We'll have a little zoom out of this guy because I think what you're seeing is a lot of a lot of noise from the camera, and I don't think it is quite that aggressive. Is Jared going? I think Jared's going to SMC. Um, Richard Sharp definitely going. Hopefully a couple more. Monty, cool. Yeah, no travel for me. This month I've got another 6 flights. So yeah, having oh, Mick Back's going. That's awesome. Yeah, having another flight overseas or a flight overseas, just no. It's a no for me. No for me. So let's zoom out and see. You can just get a bit better sense. There we go. Bit better. Still very desaturated, Deno. Do you like that? I don't know. I am not sure. Yes, I think we're at 4 weeks to Guild's Inn. 4 weeks, 3 weeks coming up. 3 weeks. And yeah, I for one am excited. So you're not sure where this one's going to end up, friends, this little goblin. I'm trying to decide about the saturation right now. And what we do with this, we've got a very desaturated vibe happening. Which is working. Yeah, so we're going to use an airbrush shadow type thing rather than a airbrush midtone, and we'll see where that gets us. Good question. A lot of good questions today from you, actually. You need to fucking relax, mate. Generally, the colour that most people would err towards is blue. You know, blue shadows tends to be a little bit more alive looking than, you know, dark shadows. But my actual answer to the question is, it really depends on what story I'm telling. You know, the environment of the piece. You know, in this one, there'll probably be a few more orangey shadows, orangish colours, so dark browns, which can desaturate and muddy things up. So you've got to be careful which browns you use and stuff. But yeah, for this particular piece, I think we're going to go some really warm yellow shadows or airbrushing. Well, look, I mean, for the specific purpose that you're talking about, I really quite like Griff Hound Orange. It's a very good colour for that purpose. It's almost brown. oranges in general, when you put them on through an airbrush, they do tend to read a little more as brown. That's a good observation, Space Toy. I find that a lot of my earlier stuff was very much more focused on smoothness and realism. But it seemed to be that was all I ever really got from the piece was smoothness and realism. I can tell. Same story with brush strokes and energy. And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with smoothness or realism, but time and a place. Masso, great question. That is a mixture of purulent yellow, this golden olive, and then a very light colour, which is called Sunray, I think. Sunray. Let me check. Yes, Sunray. There you go. So yeah, it's just sort of a highlight colour that I'm then glazing into a little bit, adding some stuff. There's going to be an airbrush layer that goes over this, which we'll see if that ruins all the work that I'm doing, or if it enhances it. But that'll be right towards the end. Trying to be airbrush free on this for the moment. Just for the moment. Yeah, Sunray is a really good colour. I tend more towards ice yellow, but only because it's the consistency of Sunray I struggle with a little bit. It's just a little thicker than I like it to be, whereas the ice yellows that I have is not quite as thick. So maybe that's just poorly mixed on my behalf, but yeah, dilution. Feel free to share your work, Masso, if you want to share some pictures. Of your work. Everyone on here, with the exception of me, is very nice and would love to see your stuff. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, that orc's unreal. Moon orc. Very cool. Everyone should go follow him. Yeah, Richard lives in the UK. Has done for quite a few years now. Nice man, Richardo. Alright. Let's tweak this. Let's do some fabricy bits. So this bit and this bit is the same colour. So let's go for burnt umber. Woo. I did an awful job mixing that. Better. Well, that's a good excuse. It's the first Spear I've bought in a while. What was the last Spear I got? Probably the last Goblin, actually. Last Goblin with a sword and shield. Or the shield. I'm not sure whether to lean into this desaturated vibe or not. This is why I recommend not having a wife, mate. That way I can always paint whenever I want. That's what I like to tell myself. It's a good question. Oh, little piggo. What should we do with you? Brave, brave, brave little piggo. I think we'll end up with some more saturated colours, but I don't think we're going to end up with them anytime soon. We'll just continue mucking about with the desaturated. Is that a metal bracer? No. Leather. Yep. Thank you. Hello, Space Toy. Sorry, Sean. Hello, mate. And thank you, Azathoth. Yeah, I agree. It is indeed leather with studs. It's going well, mate. Yes, appreciate that. Going well. We decided to whip this one out after much deliberation on what I would do. Which probably means the likelihood of the big diorama being done for Guilds Inn has reached 0. There's still a forlorn hope. It's not to be. And I'll be right there by your side in the sun, laughing and having fun with all the people that you know. Can't you hear him? He's down on the ground with a broken wing, looking all around. Well, I'm very soon going to commence another Kingdom Death playthrough on my YouTube channel. If those of you that follow me on YouTube enjoy that type of thing. If you don't enjoy that type of thing, that's okay. I will still be painting little toy soldiers like this, just on my regularly scheduled updates of that. We just get to experience the wonders of both. See me, I'm not travelling again. Surprising how much the travel actually impacted me. Didn't expect it to impact me as much as it did. Alright, this colour is the major highlight colour, and it is usually the one that makes it start to look like metal. When you get this one right, all of a sudden, your little thing that you've been painting, the little thing that just looks grey, starts to look like a metallic object. And that's an exciting time. Yeah, hey mate, the chat is there for people to chat. That's the whole point of it. Don't need to apologise for that. My my stream is obviously very boring, and that's pretty common. Just come on and paint toy soldiers. Sometimes I land on a topic that I can talk about excitedly. Other times I just sit here in my own little world till occasionally something pops up that sounds good enough for me to talk about. I did a very, very small little post on something that I think is really important, and it's called Paint Your Unicorns. You know, we spend a lot of time with these beautiful toy soldiers on our shelf, and we think to ourselves, I'm not good enough to paint that yet. One day I'll be good enough to paint that. And whilst I think it's really, really good to have a little piece that, you know, is like your holy grail piece, you know, one that when you go to it, you know you've made it. You feel like you've confident. But I think you should only really have one of those. I think the rest of your time, you should paint your unicorns. My unicorn was the Three Witches from Lucas. I had that sitting on my shelf for about 6 or 7 years, and I never thought that I would feel confident enough to paint it. And I opened it up one day, and I was just like, I'm gonna be dead soon. I'm gonna paint my little toy soldiers because I love them and I want to, and I did, and it was glorious. Was it as good as I could paint? Probably at the time it was about as good as I could paint, but was it the best I'll ever be able to paint in my life? No. No, of course not. Yeah, that's a different conversation, Simon. Should you really put in effort on those pieces? Yes, absolutely you should. You know, you should give yourself a right shellacking if you're not putting in effort. That's another one. There's very few times that you can't get another copy. There's certainly circumstances. Lucas Pina's a wonderful example of that. But yeah, that's one of those things. I wonder if it's that, okay, Timbo, that mentality of, I don't want to break this because I spent a lot of money on it. You know, I only get one chance at this. You know, that sort of mindset. That's understandable. But paint your unicorns. That's my advice for today. I'll be wrapping up soon, friends. Got a big week ahead. Yeah, fuck around and find out. Miniature. Woo. No, it's still on my list. Ugh. Still on my list. I gotta watch it. I absolutely have to watch it. What am I watching at the moment? I'm finishing Star Trek Discovery, which is really, really enjoyable. I have literally 1 and a bit episodes to go. Okay, maybe I will put that on my watch list in the next few weeks. Yeah, the Star Trek Discovery. I think next I'm planning on watching Three Body Problem. And yeah, we'll see what comes around. Yeah, Wrexham could be fun. Great observation, Craigsog. I reckon that's just because you care about it, and so you want to do a good job, and so you really try. And very, very rarely do we really, really genuinely try. Mm. What colour is that? That one. Nice. I don't know why I'm using this grey-green colour on my leather. I don't know. It's where we're at right now. Desaturation generation. It's a new time. There is, at the moment, a little bit in there. It's, yeah. We'll see where it ends up. Put it that way. My airbrushing may just ruin it completely. We may enter a new era of Deno painting. Thank you. The pig is quite fun. Yeah, we'll just see. We'll just see where it ends up. We don't make too many decisions at this stage. This is all just blocking in colours and trying ideas. And eventually, we get enough colours in there and we can go, yeah, this is working. Or no, we need to have a very big shift. Alright, that'll do. That'll do. There's a zoom out. Cool. Alright, friends. Well, I'm off. We'll be... Jared, please. Please. Yes, we'll be back... when? Sunday morning. Sunday morning I'll be back to play... well, maybe play Kingdom Death. Or maybe I'll be painting this guy. I do have these models to paint. These are the survivors from the Kingdom Death vignette. So I do want to paint those. But yeah, finish this guy off for the thing. Alright, friends, have a fantastic week. I'll catch you all again soon.